you play an hour-long game becomes a 4/4 double striker for nothing else. Yeah, I think a million people are just gonna go, ha ha ha, I have sneak attack in the command zone. Why aren't you clapping? As they get killed by the rest of their table.
Triple black is fucking impossible.
Diabolical. So one of the ones I already hate is Tezzeret Cruel Captain. People are gonna do stuff with this as their commander. Maybe this will do something in a 60 card format just because it has a tutor stapled to it and it can untap stuff. In limited, this is a 3 mana fog. This is a 3 mana. I play this. I take no combat damage because next turn my opponent beats the shit out of Tezzeret instead of me, and it achieves nothing else.
Yes, I do not know if I would ever put Tezzeret in a limited deck, ever. It's an okay card if you have a ton of artifact creatures, because it's 3 mana, you get a +1/+1 counter every combat. That's the biggest mode. Like, you give vigilance and a +1/+1 counter.
If we look at, now if we compare that to like further to the right, Esteli Reclaimer, big body, well, medium body, it flies, it can potentially recur something. I think the recursion is nice, but in Sealed, what has historically made something a f***ed up card for me is, can it reliably hit me? Is its toughness higher than 3? I'm freaking out at that. I'm freaking out. You play something with a higher toughness than 3 that can hit me most turns, I'm done.
Yeah. Esteli Reclaimer, oh my god, get back a Banishing Light that they disenchanted. Oh my god, they are dumpstered, right? It doesn't return creatures, which has me a little bit concerned. Okay, hang on, pause. A 5 mana 5/4 flying is good. We're already there. I'm already here for it. It's just a little concerning that it doesn't impact the board beyond that, but it is definitely bomb material for sure, if you have a deck that can build around it.
It's the type of thing where I might play it without synergy just to have a big flying creature. That is how good flying creatures have been down here in the depths of like bronze and silver limited play on Arena. I might take it just to have a big flying creature if I had good non-creature, non-land permanents that I thought were going to go into the graveyard for any reason. I would always play around this card.
Yeah, for sure. Any card that can give you a possible 2-for-1 is just absurdly strong. Sticking with white cards for just a moment, a big like bomb in my mind is Starfield Shepherd. That's like the nuke in my mind for like, I am putting this in my limited deck if I have it. Like, if I have the bones of a good white deck and Starfield Shepherd is in my pool, I'm probably going to be white. Just because it is 2 mana, I get a basic or a 1-drop. And then it's 5 mana, I get a 3/2, and then a basic or a 1-drop. So it's a 3-for-1, and I don't have to do anything. And then it's a flying 3/2 beater.
Yeah, let's also, I'm gonna step back to the limited format in general. Limited is like wars in the 1800s. The side that can just throw more shit at the problem usually tends to win. If you can spend more mana than the other player, if you can cast more spells than the other player, you typically take that game. And so another way to identify bombs is, does this make me an extra permanent, or does it draw me a card? If it does that, it's probably good. After that, you just have to investigate how much mana do I have to invest to get that. And then if it's making you a permanent, how good is that permanent? But as Elk was saying, Starfield is, I get to draw a card. And not only that, I get to draw a specific card. Drawing a land is only a bad thing in your draw step, in my opinion. Every time outside of the draw step, you can choose to draw a basic land. That's great, because then you go, my next draw step, I'll draw something good instead of a fuck-ass basic land. And then it allows you to put 1-drops in your deck without facing the incredible pain of only having 1-drops on your board by turn 8.
It's an incredible card. It would be rare in any other set 5 years ago.
So let's talk about then a rare that I think is kind of a trap, which is Sunstar Chaplain. This is a 3/2 rare, beginning of end step. If you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a 1/1 counter on something you control. You can pay and remove counters to tap down an artifact or creature. I did not get to play in the Arena Early Access myself, but in all the games I saw, stationings really unreliable and the games were grindy enough, there were very few situations in which you could safely station. There were a lot of staring contests, and I had a lot of hope that station was going to help you break staring contests. Not fucking true. The only time I saw things get stationed were when one player had overwhelming advantage and was basically stationing as a touchdown dance. Green, you can try to do like a pop out and show them because you have counter doublers and just huge guys. This is the example, like Sunstar for me is tremendous if you have a aggro deck to go with it, but by itself,
stationing, if it was instant, would break staring contests, but because it isn't, because you have to tap down your creatures during your turn, it is pretty bad. Where I see Sunstar Chaplain being good is I am turning my shit sideways and killing you. Like, this is my 2-drop, I play a hasty 3-drop, I get a +1/+1 counter. That's good. But this isn't like, I don't want to tap my creatures down in a format where everything has huge bodies, because Wizards of the Coast was like, they'll crew their spacecrafts with these huge bodies, even though we're going to be killing each other with them instead.
They're saying it's a good card because it's a 2-mana 3/2. What we're talking about is how to identify bombs that you should pick which colors your sealed pool is going into around it. This is explicitly the type of thing I would not go, I'm playing white because I have this guy. If I had Starfield Shepherd, or if I had the other one we looked at, Esteli Reclaimer, I might go like, this white shit looking nice. Sunstar Chaplain, very solid card, very good card if you have an aggro strategy or a counter strategy to go along with him. But this is not the type of thing where you go like, oh, hell yeah, these are my colors because I got this guy.
By the way, chat, I'm not condoning like, station should have been instant speed. I'm saying like, because it isn't, this is the gameplay decision that is like kind of tough to make, and what makes station probably pretty bad and limited, just because like you're negating your own board state to maybe get an advantage where you're probably just going to die if you do that. Also, the mana disadvantage of station is huge, where it's like, I tap out for this big thing that doesn't impact the board, and then I tap my board to it, and then you go like, I know Abrade isn't in the set, but like Abrade, different common artifacts.
Well, they have that for red. They have a 2-mana put charge counters on a thing or blow up a artifact.
And this isn't that isn't a dies to removal argument, by the way. I've been told like, my creature, I have like a 7-drop in my command zone, and I get Swords to Plowshare is like my counter argument to that. That's a dies to removal argument. It's not, because I'm talking about mana disadvantage, which is so extremely important, especially in limited. In Commander, sure, it might not matter. That's a Mario Party format. But in limited, where you're 1v1ing someone and it's a game of attrition, and you tap out for a huge threat that doesn't do anything right away, and they spend 1 mana to answer your 6 mana, that puts you in such a detrimental losing position. It's otherworldly.
Now, on the note of the mana disadvantage of a spacecraft, that actually reminds me of a thing I wanted to bring up. And this is based off of a couple games I saw looking over my girlfriend's shoulder as they played early access. Control is startlingly viable as an archetype in this limited set. This may just be because people didn't figure it out, but I saw like 5 different blue-white control decks that were all functioning pretty fucking well. And one of the few spacecrafts that actually did seem pretty doggone usable was Specimen Freighter, which is a 6-mana 1. And when you play it, you bounce 2 non-spacecrafts to hand. That was always just like, the games always went long enough that you could get to 6 mana without being too on the ropes and forcing them to waste a turn. Like, this is a spacecraft you can actually try to start stationing, because you can play it, bounce your opponent's biggest threats, and then tap your board to station it, knowing you're not going to get hit.
Yeah. I mean, so looking at the Edge of Eternities set, there's a lot of creatures with toughness greater than their power. And what you can have in these sorts of formats, especially if like certain colors get that and other colors don't, is colors that are super controlling. Like, you just need to look back to like the Siege Rhino days where like, Siege Rhino's a 4/5. And you know what blocks a 4/5 really well? A 4/5. So you can have these staring contest games where all of their toughnesses are just better than yours, and you just can't attack them. So I can see like a wall sort of like strategy being pretty good in Edge of Eternities.
No, these motherfuckers were counterspelling.
Oh, really?
Like,
which
it
counterspell?
was fucking, I was watching counterspell and bounce shit go down. Let me look for the cards that were happening. The counterspells did not look cracked. It was more of a, like, the stuff they were playing was like, the games were slow enough that you could try to do it. Oh, this motherfucker, Cryo Shatter. Fuck
that
this
card, yeah, looks sick.
It's a
Yeah,
common.
blue swords to plowshares.
one blue mana. Your guy can't fight anymore. Gives -5, -0. You suck at fighting now. If it gets tapped or is dealt damage, destroy it. This is like one of the single most debilitating versions of this blue enchantment I think I have ever seen. It was like, I was trying to give Z advice during a game because I'm stupid, and I convinced them to misplay into this card because I did not read the rest of it and assumed it started at just did -5, -0, nothing else, because I was like, oh, it'd be so fucking ridiculous for it to do anything else. And then it killed their creature because I couldn't read. None of this would be possible without support from our highest tier Patreon members, so please join me and Little Nadu as we take a moment to thank Badger King, Sussedin, Christian B, Ryan A, Adam S, Solar Movie, Biggest Dickus, Kyle, Jess HW, Alpha Dog 2064, Crimson Viper, Zelenor, Otterfire, Dad Out for Milk, Kyler P, Bolus Brigade, Derek H, Phelan, B Leave, Dungeon Masters Consortium, Zach G, Bobby Joe Lord, Talamar Von Geist, Troper and their 37 different identities, Bradley T, Bo, Beefcake, and Silky Wilkie. Thank you all, and enjoy the video. Hi everybody, welcome to the Mango Money Moment, a new segment that exists only because YouTube has told us that if their automatic mid-roll placer doesn't believe that my video has enough dead air in it to constitute a transitional phase, they will not put monetized ads in the middle, which can really cut into the editor's leak budget. So we're gonna have these moments where we just stop and stare for a little bit. So like Cryo Shatter, Desculpting Blast, Divert Disaster, they have like blue just has a ton of common and uncommon shitty control things, and there's so much card draw in this set. There's Cryogen Relic, there's Consult the Star Charts, there is Code Cracker Hound. Like there's just a ton of ways to just go like, oh, I get one extra card. And because there's so many ways to get one extra card, it becomes way more viable to have these like minorly shitty control pieces because you're gonna replace them.
Oh yeah, no, with the upshifting of uncommons, it's been more and more viable to have value and control oriented things because everything fucking cantrips now. It's like, the card advantage is a lot more a factor in limited than it was in previous limited environments.
Yeah, like look at, there's Self-Craft Mechan, 4 mana 3/4. So at 4 toughness, we're already able to block most of these dumb white bitches. Most of these dumb aggro white bitches already cooked. And on ETB, you can sack an artifact to make it a 4/5, where it's blocking 80% of the shit in the set, and it's cantripping you. And that's just a common. Like, that's not a... I'm not saying this is busted. I'm just saying that is, like, so solid for blue.
Oh, yeah. Especially with all the lander tokens being flung around.
Yeah, lander tokens also fucked up. And then...
I kind of... sorry, there's one more point I have to make about limited, and that's with cards like Archenemy's Charm. Triple black is fucking impossible.
Diabolical.
Especially in this format, where rare is the only place you have mana fixing besides lander tokens. You can do 3 black on turn 7, probably. Maybe like turn 6 if you're lucky, but like it's triple black, even like in a 2-color deck, is like going to be difficult. If you pulled 5 black rares, then maybe you can go Archenemy's Charm in that deck for sure. If you're like, I can do a mono black deck. If your sealed pool was like, you know, I oops all black cards, you got like the misprint one, then yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's triple black.
Yeah, if you have an incredible amount of landers, maybe you can try to force it to work. But another thing I was noticing is like landers are there sometimes. They are not just, they're not happening all the time or every game. And so you cannot rely on them to save you from picking a card with a ton of pips. Also, I'd like to echo what Chat's saying about Weft Walking being just one of the most tremendously bad cards of all time. For limited, it's actually way better than for any other format. Because limited, you draw, like, depending on when you cast this, if your opponent has 2 cards in hand, letting them cast a free one for you to draw 7 and then cast a free one, you are probably coming out on top of that unless they kill you that turn. But holy fuck, what a ingeniously terrible card.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone who looks at Weft Walking and says, limited bomb.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I'm tapping 6 mana, I'm doing nothing to the board, I'm giving you free tempo, and then, yeah, like, if you get your Weft Walking blasted, you just lose that game.
Yeah.
If you don't get it blasted, there's still, like, maybe a 20% chance you win that game.
And then other broad notes about the limited format. I'll say void, highly triggerable. This is the this is the keyword for, like, if you warped something or if something left the battlefield that turn. It is pretty interesting how it incentivizes you to do removal at sorcery speed, even if you have it at instant, because it's always checking at your end step. But even then, super good. All of the black void creatures were motherfuckers and always made me very sad to see.
Oh yeah, there's a big thing in this set is that there is a combo, isn't there?
I would know that. I would never.
There's an infinite combo in black, which is really funny to see. It's Perigee Beckoner.
Perigee Beckoner.
Yeah, it's 5 mana, but you can warp it for 1 in a black. When it enters, until end of turn, another target creature you control gets +2/+0, and when this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. So if you have a second one of these, and it's a common, so you can target both of these. So you have 2. That's 4 mana total because you can warp them. Yeah. And then you have the free sack outlet, Umbral Color Zealot, which is an uncommon. So you sack one, it returns, it targets the other one. You sack that one, it returns, it targets the other one. You sack that one, it returns, right?
Right.
And then all you need is any pinger, of which there's one with warp. So this whole combo is deployable for 7 mana.
I mean, really,
5 have the Zealot call it already.
Yeah, what I'm trying to think of is, even if you just curved out turn 3, I do the Zealot, turn 4, I double warp and do this. Like, I don't care if you can't kill me infinitely. I'm conceding that fucking game. You get you get to pick what you draw next, right? Because you have infinite surveil, so you can just speed run to the best piece of your library, and then you have 2 4/5s.
Yeah, my favorite part about this is every single card in this infinite is just a good card.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Gosh, I'm going to be so pissed and so happy at the same time. This is what I hate. There's certain cards that are really good and limited, but they're like 1-cent cards, like Nova Hellkite. It's like I play it for 3 and I blast a creature, and then I hit you for 4. And then I cast it later, I hit you for 4 again, and also shoot another one of your creatures. And Nova Hellkite's especially broken because if you just keep it in the exile zone, you have a threat of activation where you can just play it post-combat and all of your creatures are unblockable if it leaves any of their blockers with 1 toughness.
Oh yeah, that's very true. God, you love being such a stinky little rat. You love these threats of activation, don't you? Every time with you, every time we talk about cards, like, yeah, but what if I didn't activate it and said, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
It's so broken. It's so good. And that's why it does 1 damage. Like, people are probably thinking to themselves when this was first revealed, why isn't this a shock? And the simple answer is because it'd be fucking broken.
Another card I want to talk about is Territorial Bruntar. Absolute fucked up piece of shit card. I saw Z play against this. They were playing against a like red-green ramp deck. And it's landfall, exile from top until you hit a non-land. You can cast it that turn. It is not the strongest thing ever. The one deck we saw against it actually decked themselves with it, which was fucking hilarious. But being able to just go, I play my land, I for sure get a usable thing I can play, insane.
That's very good, yeah.
And
also, just 6/6 reach is just like God blocker.
Huge guy. He's like, you're not hitting me. And this is another principle of like, how do I win limited games? You want to have the juice to break out of staring contests. And Bruntar says, if you had a good creature, you're probably not swinging it because Bruntar will at minimum trade. And if we enter this staring contest, I have a way better chance of breaking it. because now every land I play turns into a usable spell instead of you, who, dumbass, you top decked a land and then you top decked a bad 1-drop.
Yeah, 6 mana 6/6 with reach. What spacecraft does this not block? It's like Infinite Guideline Station, but that's 5 colors. No one's casting it. Question mark? I don't know. There's like maybe like 5.
And then I'd like to I want to do the bad, shitty, no good limited cards. Vault Guard Trooper is up there for me with the Sunstar Captain. This, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures thing, every single time I saw it, it tricked the pilot into throwing the game. Because stations, you're not going to have that many spacecraft. Like, you're never going to have enough spacecraft to have a non-combat way to get these things tapped. And every time somebody had if I have 2 tapped creatures, I get a gold star, they would take like dangerous or slightly disadvantageous swings in the hope that the payoff was good enough. And it basically never was. So that opinion may change as I get to draft the set myself instead of just like look over people's shoulders and wax philosophical. But every time I saw them, anything that said at the beginning of end step you control 2 or more tapped creatures, absolute fucking trap. Absolute goddamn trap.
For me, I look at this card. It's a 5 mana 5/5. That's like a fine like D tier card. Like I'm like okay to put that in my deck if I have nothing else to play. Mm-hmm. And then the upside is only upside when you're already winning the game because you're attacking.
Right.
If you're taking that aggressive stance, then that means you're already kind of like in control of that game versus taking a more defensive posture. So in a defensive posture, this card doesn't help you. It's a 5/5 blocker, I guess. When compared to Territorial Bruntar for 1 more mana, in the defensive posture, it's a 6/6 with reach. So like it blocks just about everything in the set. And then when you're on the offensive posture, it gives you resources. And it's a 6/6 that kills people. Like you can swing with it. So those cards with those high modalities are certainly things that I'm very interested in versus something like a Vault Guard Trooper, which seems to only be good when you're already ahead. Yeah.
And then green. I mean, green is just a fucked color this set. TBH. They gave green a bunch of things that were like, what if we gave them a bunch of power to do cool spacecraft stuff? And instead they used all that power to do like blunt force trauma. One card in particular that was kind of swingy but led to a bunch of fucked up situations was Hemosymbic Might. Anytime this little dumbass, it's a 1/1 that when it taps, another creature gets +X/+X, where X is its power.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime this thing came down turn 1, I was fucking horrified. Because a lot of times what happened was now I either have to give up an early blocker. It's turning a 2/2 into a 3/3, which matters way more than you think. It's way more upsetting than you believe to have a 2/2 become a 3/3. If they ever get a station, now it's totally safe. And there's a ton of green buff spells, counter spells, equipment spells that will make this thing grow quickly enough to be a huge fucking problem for you.
Yeah, this card does seem very good. It also seems to make stations very good because you can just like, yeah, my 2/2 becomes a 3/3 and your blockers are all 2/3s.
Yeah.
It's like brutal. Yeah, no, for sure. I also really like any cheap Death Toucher is always just so fucking gross. And this set has like 3 of them. It has 1 fake one. It has the 1 black mana artifact creature that's a 4/1. In my mind, that just says 1/1 Death Touch. Up until like turn 6 and then it turns off. Looming Stingers for 2 mana is very good. And then there's also the 1/1 Death Toucher in mono black. Those cards are always very much overperformers because you basically present it and you're just like, answer it or I'm taking out your best creature. It's so good.
Sledge class seed ship. Every single set, they give the green players some type of key jingle for what if you could put a creature out for free. Sedge class seed ship is the one for Edge of Eternities, and it is bad, horrible, no good. It is a 3 mana card, achieves nothing, is a rare. After you put 7 power into it, you get a 4/5 flyer that can put something to board for free. It requires you to have that good thing in your hand. It requires you to have tapped 7 power that could have gone into somebody's skull just to get like an okay thing.
What are we doing here? You are so deep in the sauce before the Sledge class seed ship is really doing you any favors at all.
And most of the creatures in this set that are really powerful build themselves up over time rather than entering really powerful. Like one of the most back-breaking creatures that Z played with or against is Talia Ascendant Cadet. Sailor Jasmine, we're talking about the draft cards right now. We're not really talking about archetypes because, let's do another limited principle. Archetypes are mostly bullshit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Archetypes aren't real, especially in sealed. Especially in sealed. In draft, they come up a lot more because draft is a lot more synergy heavy because you're getting more cards of a color than you are in sealed. But in sealed, it's whoa.
Yeah. In sealed, you want to be on top of all of these cards feel good to play by themselves, and I can blow up my opponent's cards that feel good for them to play by themselves. There are edge cases, and this is why I wrote 99% bullshit in sealed rather than 100%. There are edge cases where Yugi Moto himself fills your packs, and you get like Selesnya aggro, Orzhov aggro, whatever the colors for aggro are in this set, where you have Sunstar Chaplain, you have 1-drops, you have things you can warp in to make you tokens, you have combat tricks to keep them alive, and then you just run deep into synergies. But like the Final Fantasy pre-release I went to, I built a synergyless deck and just won because I had the Buster Sword and some card draw.
My favorite synergy is when a card says draw 2 cards, because then I get to look at more cardboard. Like that's it. My favorite synergy is when it says counter my opponent's Magic the Gathering play. That's my favorite synergy in sealed.
So I think if you get to play this while you are ahead, if we compare this to the bad, shitty, no good uncommon, the Vault Guard Trooper, the situation of you play her while ahead shithouses Vault Guard Trooper. Most of the times I saw this card get played, it got played while the player was behind, and it allowed them to grind back into winning the game, which is also stupendously powerful.
It itself would be swinging as a 5/5 for 5. However, you can put the counters anywhere, which has me a little bit interested. There's like a 3-mana 2/2 double striker. That's pretty sexy.
That's where they always went. I'll tell you one thing for free. That's where they went every goddamn time. Because the 3-mana double striker also has a mana dump board buff, which is some of the most fuck shit I've ever. Yes, it has a color agnostic mana sink. Dual Sun Adepts.
Oh, this set's awesome. It's gonna kill me.
This guy is a piece of, or is that a girl? That looks like a girl. These two are pieces of shit. I know 5 mana looks like a ton. There are so many situations where you just flood and have nothing to do and feel terrible about it. Having a 2/2 double striker that become a 3/3 double striker, and if you play an hour-long game, becomes a 4/4 double striker for nothing else. So yeah, I think that's going to be the end of the limited section. Hopefully this helps somebody. Focus on your bombs, focus on your removal. Don't get too sidetracked by synergies unless like genuinely half of your deck is turning them on. Don't get sidetracked by the synergy unless almost all of those cards are just sweet to play without the synergy. Synergy is great sprinkle. It is terrible base.
I suppose we should talk about Edge of Eternities cards in Commander, right?
Let's talk about Edge of Eternities cards in Commander. I'm going to go to the same thing I was on, and then are there any specific commanders we want to call out as good or shitty? I feel like that's the thing people do.
Yeah, I am going to open my folder of cards. In my folder of cards, there is one legendary creature.
Let me see if I get... Scryfall won't load, so I can't guess who it is. Hold on. They didn't reprint Philia, so I know it's not that.
Yeah, I love having one legendary creature that I'm excited for. It's a very refreshing moment.
All right, who is it?
It's Zoo Ifit, Osteoharmonist.
I scrolled by them, and in my head went, well, it's not that fucking loser.
This guy's cool. I like him. He's a fun design.
Return target creature card from graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton and has no abilities. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so the funniest thing to return is Phyrexian Dreadnought or Death Shadow, right? You play those for 1 and they fucking entomb themselves, and then you tap Zoo Ifit, and they're back into play as a 12/12 and a 13/13.
Yeah, that is pretty goddamn hilarious.
And then what you do is you hit them with the Disciple of Bolus or the Shadow Heart.
Yeah.
And you draw 13 or you draw 12.
Yeah.
Or you can, of course, 3/3 Classic flicker it, right?
Of course.
Yeah, you flicker the thing you bring back, you get all of its abilities back, like a Conjurer's Closet, or you know, like all sorts of things.
I feel like that one's a little bit too head ass compared to just I get back big things that are supposed to nerf themselves. Because then it's like if you were playing the big things that are supposed to nerf themselves, you don't want to get their abilities back.
Yeah, I love the fact that Phyrexian Dreadnought and the Death Shadow both entomb themselves. That's like a really good upside for this card.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other legends that I was like specifically interested in. Tanic got close, but I don't know. Like he doesn't do anything very interesting when compared to like a Perforos, right?
I'm so bored by Tanic, actually. It's just, I said this about it on a previous stream, it's literally just Satoru Umezawa for people who think they're too cool to play blue. Everybody is going to make this deck, cast one Stink Hands Larry, aka Phyrexian Obliterator or whatever, the 12 Blightsteel. Cast one Blightsteel for 3 mana, get killed, and go, oh, that wasn't very fun, and take apart the deck.
Because you can get cast triggers off him for 3 mana?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, holy shit. But he says red creatures, so it's actually really hard to get like any of the cast triggers that matter. Like Emrakul, right? Like you can't 1 mana Emrakul with Tanic.
It does give haste, Cairo.
It does.
The first line of text is other creatures you control have haste. So it's more interactable than like, oh, the creature gets haste because you can just shoot Tanic. But if you just go like, yeah, I think a million people are just gonna go, ha ha ha, I have sneak attack in the command zone. Why aren't you clapping? Ah! As they get killed by the rest of their table.
Yeah, if you're going for sneak attack in the command zone, just play the 5 mana Perforos. Yeah. Even the Holly, like I don't know. There's like some fine legends in the set, but there's nothing that's like besides Zuafit. She's cool. For me, when I look at the Selesnya one, I'm like, okay, but like how is this better than like Cutsil counters, or because Cutsil's 2 less mana, but you don't get the enters or attacks counter. But that's fine because you just put good counters cards.
Well, deck, like right? I think it matters for the thing that I dislike about counters decks the most, which is that they start out with 20 cards pre-selected because it's stuff that you just have to have. And because Halia contains the put counters on within itself and contains the card draw within itself, nobody's gonna do this, which is gonna make me sad later, but it gives you the opportunity to free up deck slots that would have just gone towards 1/1 counter slop and still have a counters deck, which I like the idea of. But again, they're just,
you can sort of counterweight it a little.
Yeah, but like the hardened scales, it's already in there. Green Ristic Study, it's already in there.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about any commanders or anything.
One other one I want to call out, very cute, is Ragost. I think, unfortunately, he is going to be relegated to like every single person in the world is going to have a Ragost deck, and they are going to be indistinguishable from each other, but we're all going to like it. It's going to be like the action figure. It's going to be the Buzz Lightyear that we all have. They're all going to look the exact same, and it's always going to put a smile on your face.
Yeah. I have trouble finding play patterns with the Ragost where I'm like, I'm having a good time.
Mm-hmm. Most of it is saying, I can't believe a shrimp fried this rice, bang.
Yeah. Ragost feels like a commander that's going to be played by like 500 million people. And then of those 5 million people, 45 of them will not take the deck apart.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do we want to touch on the Precon commander Kilo at all? Since it's the latest proliferate guy.
Oh, that card, he's fine.
He's just so fine. There.
Yeah, he's okay. It's when it enters or is tapped, right? Proliferate.
No, it's when he's tapped, but he has haste.
Yeah, I mean that's just Thrumming Bird in the command zone. Like you can do a lot with that, especially in Jeskai colors, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Great job. I mean, there's like counters everywhere. Like I don't know what to say.
We've done it.
It's very open-ended to play. You can do charge counters. You can do planeswalkers. You can do +1/+1 counters. You can do like yes. If you were like Atraxa would be a very good commander for this strategy, but I'm too hipster to play Atraxa.
But I don't want to get killed with hammers. I will simply play Kilo. Damn, there really are like no legendary creatures this set.
And I'm happy.
Holy hell.
Good.
No, it's great. It's finally. This is the inverse commander power creep. Nature's healing.
This is awesome because this is the set that has me the most excited for commander upgrades of any set I've ever seen of all time. I've never been more excited for commander upgrades to my decks.
Why? Because Warp and it said Exile?
Yeah, that's true. I'm having trouble of like, I know we normally do like, oh, what's our least favorite card? What's our favorite card? I'm having trouble thinking of cards that I do not like in this set. Even Infinite Guideline Station, I'm like, this is a fine 5-color like cesspool commander. Like, sure.
Okay.
I'm not particularly upset by this.
Then instead of trying to do like, oh, here's our most favorite, let's just try to call out a few that are key jangly for us. May I begin?
Absolutely.
The number one key jangler for me is Long Range Sensor. You and I have fought about mono red card draw engines a lot historically. As a count on luck believer and you as a hater who I've already depicted as a monkey bot, I think Long Range Sensor is the best red card draw engine we've ever gotten.
So I'm going to be deleting this from my folder now.
Oh!
Because you're talking about it. Yeah, no, this card fucking rocks. It's really good. Whenever you attack a player, you get a charge counter. What does red like to do? Crash out. And then Discover 4 is so good. Discover's infinitely better than Cascade because you can put it in your hand if you don't want to cast it. And then if you do want to cast it, this is mana advantageous. And if you already have a board state, you get the card right away, which is better than Phyrexian Arena.
They said the word. They said mana advantageous. All right, yeah. Okay, Long Range Sensor, agreed crazy. What's one of your other bangers?
Okay, I'm going to stick with the commander set stuff before we get into the main set, of course. You started us off here on a very nice note. I'm here on the fucking Evan Du Brush Razor.
The fuck? That sounds like a strain of weed. Of course it's not on Gatherer because Gatherer is fucking bad.
I dragged it into the slideshow.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, whenever you sack a non-token permanent, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, as long as you've sacrificed a non-token permanent this turn, you may play cards exiled with this creature, and then it has a small Orcish Lumberjacks effect where you get to sack a land to add mana.
That's
so fetch lands, exile off the top. Let's get the boring shit out of the way first. Yes. If you sack a fetch land, you get to exile the top card of your library, and you get to play it so long as you've sacrificed a non-token permanent. I run a non-token Aristocrats deck in the form of Judith the Scourge Diva. So every time I sack a non-token permanent with this on board, I get to ping something with Death Touch, presumably. It dies, and then I exile the top card of my library. I get to play it for as long as I control this creature, which is a ridiculous line of text. It's not even until the end of turn. Yeah,
that is goofy and evil. Genuinely, would Gruul Atali players play this just for another source of lumberjacking, or is the fact that it's only 2 mana too little?
No, because you go from 3 to 6 mana. All you would have to have done is ramp one more time that game. If you go birds into this, you're turn 4 Atali, right?
Holy
Which is
shit,
pretty
so
decent.
Baby CEDH playable. At minimum, this is like the high power Atali players are using this.
We have All Fate Stalker.
Oh, of course. The Warp Flicker Boy. To help you flicker your warp creatures for cheap.
I like that it's a 2-mana flicker, and then later it's a 4-mana exile Fiend Hunter, right? Exile. Yeah, well, Banisher Priest is more apt. I like this one compared to something like, say, if your deck is running Touch the Spirit Realm, maybe also run All Fate Stalker. Why not both, is my opinion. This one can't instant speed protect like Touch the Spirit Realm can. However, it's a 2-for-1 inherently, where Touch the Spirit Realm is a flicker or a O-ring.
But it's Famished Worldsire. Even though I am a green hater, and even though this is a land abuser, it is the Devour Land 3 thing, where after you check it, you do like a almost pseudo Scapeshift at home type effect, where you get to check the top X and then flop all the lands out. I love this for more casual games because it's the first known instance of meaningful deck thinning, where I spend 8 mana on this, I sack every single land I have, which is always the correct option, and then I flip all the rest of the lands out of my deck, and now the rest of the game, I only draw gas. I am now immune to flood. That's cute as hell.
I agree with your assessment, except for the pay 8 mana part, because I run a beautiful little Kinesis
Oh,
deck.
You little bitch! It's a Leviathan! I didn't even fucking know.
So my favorite thing with this card is I cannot fucking wait to pay 4 mana on someone's end step, sack all my lands, and then hit 1 land and then lose. I cannot wait. This is also a Leviathan.
Oh, Jesus.
Sea monster players rejoice. We're
Oh,
eating, finally.
God, the monster lovers really are eating.
I low-key want to run this one back because this card gains a whole new context in Commander.
Yeah, you have way better 1-drop access.
Oh my god, Mother of Runes? Are you fucking shitting me? 2 mana, I'm screwed. I need a plains. Or 2 mana, get Mother of Runes, get fucking Haywire Might if you're Selesnya. Get like there are so many good goddamn 1-drops.
Boros aggro decks gets Ragavan.
Yeah.
Here's my Ragavan tutor.
Yeah, and then for me, like I didn't even think about this, but you know the card Saphara Sky's Blade, right?
Why would I know that?
Okay, it's
about a 1 flying creature, fuck them. A white creature, fuck them. Presumably an angel, fuck them. What are we talking about?
So Saphara Sky's Blade is a deck that I've had on the shelf for a little while. I used to play her pretty religiously, but I've sort of fallen out of favor with it just because she's super reliant on 2-for-1 flying body spells. So for instance, something like a Hollowed Haunting or a Hanged Executioner or a Midnight no, what's it called? It's the triple white one, or you can pay 2 for each one. I forgot the name of it. And then there's also the one with Parlay, where you all reveal the top card, and then for each non-land you get a spirit, and then everyone draws a card. So those are those, and then also there's the enchantment Spirit Bonds. Wherever you cast a creature spell, those are the ones that get Saphara out super early. In this, Starfield Shepherd's another one of these. For 2 mana, you can go Warp, Ornithopter, tap it, the Ornithopter, and 2 other flyers you played earlier to play Saphara, which is just so absurdly good. And it's literally been it's been half a decade since we've gotten a 2-for-1 flyer spell that fits in this deck.
Elk's been counting. Elk's been looking at that Saphara deck every night going, one day. My next is Depth Shaker Titan, the 7 mana thing that turns your junk into murder weapons. This is probably my most, like, I want to make a deck around it so bad, and I know it's not going to work the way I want it to. But the idea of taking a board full of treasures and junk and just hucking them at the table, the closest we've gotten to red Crater Hoof, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So they all, if you are swinging out at the table, everything is a 6/6 with trample and haste once you stack up all the melee stuff. I think that's cool as shit. It may convince me to resurrect my Prosper deck. It may convince me to make a proper junk deck with all of the like Fallout and other applicable junk things. But oh, it makes me so happy.
They were kind of cooking when they printed this card.
Oh, god damn it. You fucking, yeah. Kill Phyrexian Arena with hammers. Long live Requiem Monolith.
I like you get a card right away. I like there's a political aspect to it. It's so funny that this is modal. So you can like target your thing and then Blasphemous Act. Or if it kills your opponent, you can target their thing and then Blasphemous Act. So not only is it a repercussion for the times you need it in those stop hitting yourself decks, but it's also just a card draw engine. And it's also very low floor, but the fact that it just cantrips if you control any creature. I have a card that I'm going to fend for, who I think a lot of people shit on. This is Cosmogoyf.
Oh no, that guy's cool. Exile matters.
Yeah, I had someone in my Discord say that this is worse than Tarmogoyf, and I'm like, you are...
That's crazy.
Not thinking.
That's insane.
So, in the context of 60 card, in a Jund-like deck with like self-mill themes, this works really well with Detectives Phoenix, where you can go 1 red mana, exile your entire graveyard to collect evidence, and put it on the Cosmogoyf, and then you have like a fucking like 8 power attacker, which is ridiculous. I'm curious, do you want to talk about how overhyped this card is?
Oh, sure, yeah. About the dumb fucking bug sitting on the side of Route 12 or whatever in your local Pokemon game. I mean, I think it's
a good card.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it overhyped as I would just... I could hear every landfall deck salivate as they got the 14th version of landfall effect that was going to go in every single landfall deck. So let's do a slide for the overhyped.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is terminally fair.
This is the most like in bracket 2, where I already could never beat the green player in combat. I will simply continue to lose to the green player in combat.
I like this card a lot with a lot of the cards that say whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on this, you get a hand. Like, love this card with those. Can we talk about Singularity Rupture? Destroy all creatures, then any number of target players each mill half their library rounded down.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
So I do believe that this is once again a good card, but it's way too overhyped. So milling sucks. It does have a combo with River Turn Monument. If you go mill everyone halfway, everyone takes their next draw step. Next turn, you go River Turn Monument, activate it. Everyone mills cards equal to the number of cards in their graveyard.
Yeah.
That's a combo. You can also use it to self mill. 6 mana for that is a lot to destroy all boards and then mill any number of target players half. 6 mana is a lot for a Wrath. It's a lot. Number 1, 0 Point Ballad. So for those that don't know, there's a card called Necromantic Selection. I think it's 4 black. Destroy all creatures, and then you get to put a creature destroyed that way onto the battlefield under your control. Yeah. And then you exile Necromantic Selection. 0 Point Ballad doesn't exile itself. So this is prime for Archaeomancer loops. If you have Eternal Witness,
they're talking about flickering the sorceries. No!
It's not the most exciting card, but it's a card that is pretty strong. Feels like it might be overlooked by Aristocrat players out there, but there's the Timeline color. It's a very good Magic.
Oh yeah, 1 mana, get a guy back. This is more Phyrexian Altar infinite. Not technically infinite because you have to pay life down.
Yeah, you need like 2 Blood Artist effects. How are they ever going to do that?
Right, yeah, but like this is because there was actually, like, we joke about how the Aristocrat players are spoon-fed, and you are, but they tend to not be as spoon-fed in this specific niche of low mana creature that I can get out of my graveyard really easily. Like, there's Gravecrawler, there is Forsaken Miner, there is, I think some people are trying to do it with like Cauldron Familiar, and I think there's maybe 1 more, and the rest of them are like Reassembling Skeleton or stuff that actually it costs enough mana to break down the loop quickly, versus Timeline Color with Phyrexian Altar is just that loop is going as long as you have life. And if you have Sephiroth, you have the life. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for coming. Elk, thank you for being on. Go watch Elk's video. I love you all. Thank you for being here. And please remember to stay toxic.